morning, student. Hope you all are healthy and safe at home. So today is 19th June and our chapter is almost completed. We have done our workbook also, yes. And Monday I have told you that we will be having our chapter test. So today we are going to revise all the major concept of this chapter. This is chapter number 4, isn't it? This is chapter number 4. And what is the name of chapter? Floats, sinks and mixes. Yes, we are going to revise all the major concepts, okay? So the first concept of this chapter which we had started was solute and solvent, okay? So let us start with it by drawing a glass of water like this. If there is a glass of, this is a glass and here this is water, okay? And if I add in this one, I am going to add sugar here, yeah? Sugar, these are sugar particles, I am going to add. Okay, I am going to add. So in the starting, this is sugar which is going to get dissolved. Yes, this sugar particles are going to get dissolved in this water. Okay, so the medium which is going to dissolve sugar is called solvent. Yes, and the thing or substance which is going to get dissolved is solute. Okay, this is solute. Okay, till here, okay. And when these solvent and solute, these solute particle gets evenly distributed itself in the water molecule, this particular thing, the mixture, okay, the mixture is called solution. All the three terms are clear? The thing which is going to get dissolved is solute, which dissolves another thing in itself is called solvent. And the product which is formed after mixing solute and solvent, that means solute is getting dissolved, is called solution. Okay? Now question comes, why? Yes, I have told you every substance is made up of matter, small particle. These water molecules are also made up of small particles. When you add sugar here, that time, like for example, this was the particles of water, okay, these green colored particles of water, it was having space in between, and when you added sugar, salt or any solute in water, that time there was a space for that particle to get evenly distributed, therefore it get dissolved in it. Clear? Soluble and non-soluble. Yes, so what are these soluble and non-soluble? Things which get dissolved, okay, that is dissolving in water. Okay, here in our book we are concentrating mostly on water. Okay, so we will be talking at things which get dissolved in water are soluble substance, whereas substance which do not dissolve in water are non-soluble. This is does not dissolve in water, okay, does not dissolve in water, or any other solvent will be non-soluble for that particular solvent. Here we are talking about water, then what we will say, like for example, what is not soluble in water? Oil, okay, oil is not soluble in water, okay, like that. Plastic is not soluble in water. So this here comes two new terms, that is soluble and non-soluble. Till here also it is okay. Now there were few factors which affected the mixing or formation of these things. Okay, coming to the factors affecting solubility. That means if any substance is getting dissolved in water or any other solvent, there are few factors which regulate that, or there are few factors which affects it. The first one is amount of solute versus solvent. Yes, here in this case, you added 1 teaspoon of sugar. That time it is going to get dissolved, isn't it? We have discussed about it. Because why it was dissolving easily? Because there was space in between water molecule. Let me make it like this. Yes. So when you added 1 teaspoon of sugar, it dissolved. When you added 2, then also few space was there. After that, 7, 8 or 10 teaspoon of sugar in a small amount of water, that is solvent, that time what will happen? water will not have any much more space to have sugar in itself. So what will happen after a time, the sugar will start settling here in the water. Yes, so what we can say, the amount of solute and solvent is a very important factor. Yes, if solute is very less and solvent is in big amount, it can dissolve. But if solvent is very little and you are adding too much solute here, then what will happen? It is going to settle in the bottom. Okay, why? Because the solvent was not having any much more space left to let these sugar particle get inside. Understood? This was the condition. So, amount of solute versus solvent is a very important factor in anything to get dissolved in a solvent. Correct? Now, one more thing was temperature here. Yes? Another important thing is temperature. So, what is the role of temperature here? It was present here. The sugar particle was present here. When you add a burner here, that means you are burning or giving heat here. So what will happen when you raise the temperature? Giving heat means you are adding a flame at the bottom, burner here. That time what will happen? You are providing heat. So what will happen? The temperature will raise, and due to which the heat energy, these water particles which are present, they will start moving faster. Okay, they will start moving and shaking faster. So what will happen? It will create more space. Okay, so these sugar particles, they will get more space, and at a time it will allow it to get dissolved. Okay, so temperature is also one of the most important factor. Okay, next was particle size. Yes, so it is very easy one. If you try to dissolve granulated sugar or the particles which you are having in your kitchen, 1 teaspoon there, and in another one you simply dissolve powdered sugar. Okay, that time it was powdered sugar, its particle were very small. So when you added it here, then it is going to dissolve faster. Isn't it? If you are having doubt, this very easily you can do. Take 1 teaspoon of sugar in a glass of water. In another glass of water, add powdered sugar. Take 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar. Try to mix both. And I'm sure your result will be like this only, that the glass in which you were adding powdered sugar, it is going to get dissolved faster. Okay. So the temperature done, amount done, particle size also done. It is also a very important factor. Then one more factor was there, student, that is mixing or stirring. I know these all things are not properly given in your book, but then too it's very necessary to understand. Now comes the mixing. Now I kept 2 glass of water. Okay, here water is there. Here also I added, in both of them I added sugar. Okay, here the sugar particles, let me make it here, sugar. Okay, and I added sugar, immediately comes in the bottom. Yes, it is here. Now, in first one, I use a stick to, second one, I use a stick to mix it. Okay, and in the first one, I left it. So what will happen when you are mixing or stirring something, that time what happened? Same case here. Due to heat energy, it was moving, and here due to stirring, the water particles started moving. And while that water particles start moving, it was giving more space to this sugar particle. Okay, and these sugar particle very easily, evenly distributed. And here what will happen? It will stay here slowly, slowly, slowly. It is going to get dissolved. So which is going to get dissolved faster? The one in which you are using a stirrer to mix it. Okay, so this is also a very important factor. There, that water is called universal solvent. Why water is called universal solvent? Well, because it can dissolve many things in itself. Therefore, it is called universal solvent. Okay, and it can be many things. It can be salt, it can be sugar, solids it can dissolve. It can dissolve many liquid in itself, like it can dissolve milk, it can dissolve ink, and not only solid and liquid, student, it can dissolve gases in itself. Yes, you remember in page number, I think 19, in page number 19, carbon dioxide, example of cold drink is given, carbon dioxide gas being dissolved in water. Okay, so therefore water is called universal solvent. But this is not the end. all things are not dissolved in water. Maximum thing dissolved, that's why it is called universal solvent, but not all substance. Okay, then comes solvents other than water. Okay, few other things are there which can dissolve other solutes which water cannot dissolve. We have already discussed, student, that painter which paints the wall, that time when he wants to clean his brush, that time he uses kerosene oil. Okay, and in that kerosene oil, that paints get dissolved. But if you try to wash it with water, it is not going to wash out. Why? Because paint does not dissolve in water. Okay, it dissolves in kerosene. So kerosene is a solvent for paint. So it is one solvent. Then petrol is an example. Dry cleaning, many a times grease, oil or something which gets stained in your cloth. That time if you try to wash it with water, it is not going to get clean. Why? Because grease, oils, they do not dissolve in water. So even if you try to wash it with water, it will remain there. So that time what we do? Dry cleaners do, they put petrol or some other chemicals there without water. Dry cleaning means dry, without water. Okay, they put those things and try to remove the stain. And how stain is getting removed? Because that particular stain, oil or grease, it dissolved in petrol. Okay, and so it was it was cleaned. Clear? So this was solvent other than water. One more example we have discussed about acetone. Yes, in nail polish remover. Yes, when we apply nail polish, especially girls apply nail polish, that time if you wash it with your water, it is not going to get removed. Okay, they apply thinner. And what actually is in thinner? It is generally acetone. Okay, so acetone acts as a solvent for removing nail paints. Okay, students. Now coming to the concept of floating and sinking. Yes, what actually is floating and what actually is sinking? When you put any substance on water, if that substance remain on the surface of water, we call that substance is floating. Okay, or has capability of floating. And when any substance, instead of remaining on the surface of water, it goes down to the bottom and settle there. Okay, we call that substance has sink down. This is clear. Now comes the question, why any substance is floating on the surface of water, or why that substance is, any other substance is sinking down. Then comes a major concept of this chapter, that is density. It is not given in your book, student, but it is very important for you to understand why anything is floating and why another thing is sinking down. Clear? So now question comes, then repeating, any substance whose density is more than water, that means it is heavier than water. Clear? It will sink down. And any substance whose density is lesser than water, that means that particular thing is lighter than water and it is going to float on the surface. Got it? Now you will ask, ma'am, what is this density? Yes, I have described. I hope all of you remember that very nicely. What actually is density? Density in a very simple manner means the packing of the particles in a matter. Okay? In gas, its particles are very loosely packed, so they can move here and there. Okay? In liquid, little bit more space, little bit lesser space as compared to gas. Okay? And in solid, the particles are very tightly packed. Okay? So if I take a small portion of this one and this one. Yes, so if I compare a same portion, then here only 1 or 2 particles. So its density will be lesser. Here 2-3 particles. And here it will be so many particles. So what you will say? The solid's density is most. Why? Because it is having more particle in particular space. Okay, so this, now it is clear. So this plays a very important role here whenever a thing has to float on surface or it is going to sink down. Yes, again I am repeating, if any substance which is more denser or whose density is more than water, that means it is having more dense, more particle, it is heavier, it is going to sink down. And when it is less dense, less particle, it is lighter, it is going to float on the surface of water. And various example we have already discussed, student. I hope you remember the example of egg in water. Yes, if a normal water is there, that time if you add egg, it is going to settle down. And if you are taking too much salt, and that time you are going to add here, it is salt water. Okay, salt water, that means, and that too high concentrated salt, that means you are adding so much salt there. That time what happen, the density of water you are increasing by adding salt, so that particular egg was lighter, its density become lesser, so it started floating there. In the first case, what happened, its density was more as compared to normal tap water, so it was sinking down. Yes, this was a very important example we have discussed. Then we discussed about the Dead Sea. Yes, normally if you do not know swimming, you are going to get drawn in the sea. Yes, but in Dead Sea, what happened, the density of water is so much, too much salt in that even if you lay there, you are going to float on the surface, and because of high salt concentration, nothing goes there. Yes, and we have also discussed why a ship, so large ship, it is sailing on the surface of water. Yes, why? Because ship is mostly made up of wood and few other metal also, but its structure is such that it is having so much space in between and it is floating on the surface. Yes, and a small nail sink down. The major thing which helps any substance to float or sink on water, that is density. Student, I hope by this almost most of the major concept of this chapter we have discussed. Okay, so student, please study well. Monday we are having chapter test. Study well.